Hello everyone, welcome to this fifth video on Python. In the last video, we have covered two very useful functions, value counts and sort values. And in this video, we'll see how we can filter the data frame to get the desired rows. Now the data again used here is the sleep, health and lifestyle dataset available on Kaggle, and we'll just load the dataset. But before doing that, we'll load the pandas library. So after loading the pandas library, we'll load the data set. Now once the data set is loaded, we can look at the shape to see how many rows and columns are there. So we have 374 rows and 13 columns. We can also take a look at the names of the columns. So with sleep dot columns, we'll see a array of column names. So we have person ID, gender, age, occupation. These are the columns available. And if you want to take a look at the kind of values present in those col- columns, we can use sleep.info. And it also gives us some idea about the missing values in a particular column. So here all are non-null. So that is fine. And now we can take a look at the first few rows. And finally, we got this person ID, which we observed is integer. We would just like to convert it to a string because we don't have to do any arithmetic operation. Now, in this video, we'll see how we can apply filters to obtain these results. So first one is like if we just want to filter the data frame for gender equal to male or age equal to 27 or some particular age range, some other filter which we can apply on another column. So either it is on one column or a combination of column. We'll just go through those different cases. So the first case here is where you just want to get the records from the data frame where gender is male. But yeah, before doing that, let's see how many different kind of values are available in that gender column and what is the count. So for that we'll use this value counts which we discussed in the last video as well. So here we can see that the male there are 189 records and with female there are 185 records. So when we are going to apply that filter, we should get these number of records as well. So to apply the filter, you can do it in two different ways. If we use LOC, so data frame.loc, then also we can just mention within this square bracket sleep gender, so that particular column should be equal to male, and this is important that we have to use equal to two times. Okay, so with this we can get the desired number of rows. We can filter those rows from the data frame. So here if you see there are 189 rows which is matching with the value here. Now here I'm just uh, giving those results as an output, but if you want to store that filter data frame in another data frame, you can do that easily by assigning it to another variable. The other way to do the same is without using .loc. So here you can just take the data frame, take the column, and just equate it to male or female, whatever you want. So here also, if you see, you'll get the same result, 189 rows. Now, this is when we want to filter on some string or object column. So there we'll have to actually put the value in inverted commas. For numeric, you don't need to do that. So if I just want to filter for age equal to 27, I'll write age double equal to sign 27 and I can get the result here. So you just have one ID, one person with age 27 in this record. With age greater than 50, if you see, so here we are just replacing this equal to sign with greater than sign, and you can see that there are 76 records, and it's very simple to apply this filter. Now what if you want to apply a filter age between 30 and 35, that kind of filter? So here this and symbol is very important. So what you are doing is that you are creating two conditions, and then you are adding and between these two conditions. So what it is doing is that it is filtering all the records which is greater than 30, and it is also filtering all the records where age is less than 35. So both these filters are simultaneously applied on the data frame. That is why this and condition is added here. So with that, we'll get all the records where age is between 30 and 35. And then based on your requirement, you can keep this as greater than 30, less than 35, or greater than equal to 30, less than 35 based on the requirement. You can just change these inequality symbols. So if you just apply this filter, you see there are 75 records. Now, what if you have to apply a filter on one numeric and one string column at the same time? So here age should be greater than 40 and BMI categories obese. So you just want those records where age is greater than 40 and BMI category is obese. So both these conditions should be satisfied. So again, we'll use an and sign, and the syntax is quite similar to the ones we have seen earlier. So if we apply this filter and we'll run this code, we have only four records where age is greater than 40 and the BMI category is obese. Now the next filter that we have to apply is daily steps greater than 8,000 and sleep disorder is none. So all those cases where someone is actually taking more than 8,000 steps and they don't have any sleep disorder. So let's see how many such records are there. And the syntax is again quite same as the one we have seen earlier. So there are six such rows. So here we can see that the BMI categories are normal, overweight, and normal weight for such cases, while sleep disorder is none. Now the next case is where the daily steps are less than 4,000 and the sleep disorder is insomnia. So let's see how many records are there. If you just apply this filter, there are four such cases. So here if you see that the BMI categories are all obese, and here sleep disorder is insomnia. So daily steps are quite less, it's less than 4,000, and two people are 28, 29, and two are 48 years of age. Now if we have to apply filter where this kind of filter where we want to select a few different categories from any of these fields where quite a few numbers of values are present. For example, if you see in occupation, there are there are 10 and 11 different kind of values present here, and you want to filter the data frame for a few such categories. For example, here we want to filter the data where this occupation field is either doctor, nurse, or engineer. So it's either condition. So for that, We'll just put for this conditions first in brackets: sleep occupation, doctor, nurse, and engineer. Then we'll separate it by vertical line, which actually represents the or condition. Okay, so once we do that, we'll get all those records where they are either doctor, nurse, or engineer. So doctor, nurse, or engineer, if you add here, it would be 207, and you get the same number of rows here, 207. Now if we have multiple such values from which you have to pick to filter your data frame, then the other and the better way to do it is first creating a list. So for occupations here, if you want to select these, first create a list where it is doctor, nurse, and engineer as three different values in the list. And then you can use dot is in. So we are writing the column, selecting the column, and then we are writing dot is in this particular list. So filter for all those cases where the occupation are present in this list. So if we do this, we are again getting 207 rows. And these things, I mean, 207 rows here, we can easily cross check when we have already done a value count on that particular column earlier. It's it gives you a sense that whatever filters you have applied is giving the correct number of rows. Now, what if you want to filter where occupation is not doctor? So for not condition, we'll use this exclamation mark with equal to get the desired result. So here, if you are selecting where the record should not be equal to doctor, we are getting 303 rows. So if you see here, we have total 374, and if you remove doctor, which is 71, we should have 303 rows. Now, what if you want to apply a condition like this, where occupation is not doctor but is greater than 50? So again, these are two condition in and. So sleep occupation is not equal to doctor in bracket, and then age greater than 15 bracket, and then we combine these two condition by and here. And if you run this, we have 74 such rows. So that's all from this video. In the next video, we'll start summarizing the data. So do subscribe my channel and like the video. See you in the next video. Thank you.